The dark is rising. We're experiencing it everywhere, in countless ways, great and small, and every one of the ways matters and must be noticed and dealt with. From the creeping isolation that is there in the absence of eye contact from passers-by, the coarsening of public discourse, the silencing and ridiculing of contrary voices, and all the way to the sterilising of children in the name of progress, the dark is rising. The longer people ignore this fact, the worse it gets. The darkness is anti-human by nature and by definition, and every life lost, every life snuffed out, every life diminished or made unbearable, every light extinguished is the triumph of the rising darkness. It's all around us, and we ignore it at our peril. War and bloodshed, harm inflicted for harm's sake. We are told to accept these as facts of life, the defence of democracy, when they are the spread of darkness. Darkness is evil, and evil is also banal, the banality of bureaucrats. The conclusions of the COVID inquiry, all but promising that what was done to the billions then will be done again soon enough, is evidence of the darkness in the hearts of those that made it so and would make it so again, given half a chance. The darkness is there in the Epstein files, kept hidden all this time because the darkness provides the shadows in which the powerful hide their evil. The darkness is there in war and endless killing. It's there in genocide in Gaza to make way for luxury seafront homes for the richest. It's there in every farm lost to globalism so that hunger grows. It's there in every tree cut down to make way for a plastic windmill or a solar panel laden with toxic metals that must poison the water. It's there in every tax hike that makes life harder, if not finally intolerable for people already at the end of the ropes. The darkness has no qualms about people hanging themselves from ropes either, quite the contrary. The rising darkness is making it easier to die, preferable to die, and also preferable never to have been born. The darkness is there on the faces and in the eyes of those calling themselves leaders. Their inner innate darkness is more and more exposed as they push harder and faster in pursuit of their anti-human agenda, which means an increasingly lifeless world.
Your personal data could be exposed right now without you even knowing it. And if you want it removed, use incogni.com/GB News in the description now and get 60% off an annual plan on us. Incogni reach out to the data brokers on your behalf and request that your information be deleted from their databases. And they'll keep sending removal requests to make sure your data stays gone. Sometimes your information ends up on strange, obscure websites that automated tools just can't reach. And that's why Incogni just launched their unlimited plan with a feature called custom removals. With this, you can submit any link where your personal information appears, literally paste in the URL, and their privacy team will investigate and work to get it removed. And getting started is super easy. Hit the link in the description, create an Incogni account, and tell them whose data you want removed. Grant them permission to work on your behalf, and then all you've got to do is sit back and relax. They'll keep you updated along the way. Incogni is totally risk-free for 30 days. If you try it, it's not for you, you'll get a full refund. So take back control of your personal data today with Incogni. Use our code GBNews at checkout via the link in the description and you'll get 60% off an annual plan.
Light and life are being methodically extinguished all around the planet. The dark is insidious by nature, seeping into souls like cold into the marrow of bones. Unnoticed, it would overcome us if we let it. Much of the darkness goes unremarked, unchallenged, especially when to do so is uncomfortable, unfashionable, inconvenient in a world in which people matter less than machines. For me, the rising of the darkness is made most obvious in the deafening silence that surrounds the wholesale murder of Christians. It should be on front pages, top story on every news channel, and yet it rates only the most cursory of mentions. Christians are being murdered on an industrial scale all over Africa. In Nigeria, in Mozambique, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, Christians are also being murdered to extinction throughout the unholy Holy Land. Churches burn every week all across Europe. Mainstream media is broadly silent on the horror. Blind eyes, deaf ears, darkness. Christianity has been the principal enemy of darkness for 2,000 years, and now the dark is rising. The persecution of Muslims and Jews is condemned, and rightly so. Only towards the murder of Christians and the deletion of Christianity is the other cheek turned. This is the unilateral disarmament of one religion and one religion only, and unilateral disarmament is never a good idea. The devil is in the details, as we say, and the shift away from Christianity is in the small things too. It's almost a cliché to lament the replacement of the word Christmas with references to winter instead. The same with Easter. Brighton University has renamed the Christmas and Easter holidays winter and spring. The London School of Economics renamed its Michaelmas and Lent terms autumn and winter. A primary school in Eastleigh in the UK cancelled its annual Easter bonnet parade and church service, quote, to respect diverse religious beliefs. Each of these sound trivial in isolation, but the direction of travel for a country once Christian is unmistakable. In August last year, Volodymyr Zelensky signed a law banning the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. It's always about Christianity. The French revolutionaries murdered Christians with suspicious enthusiasm. The vessels of the Eucharist were loaded onto a donkey's back and paraded through the streets of Paris in mockery of the faith. An actress was installed in Notre Dame as the goddess of reason instead of Christ. The Bolsheviks of the Russian Revolution slaughtered Christians in unknown numbers, certainly millions, and made a saint of Judas. A dear friend of mine, Kevork Almassian, is a Syrian of Armenian Christian descent. Armenia is the oldest Christian country in the world, and yet without Kevork, I would not know that in Armenia, an avowedly globalist prime minister is locked in battle with the Armenian Apostolic Church. There have been mass arrests of Christians as globalism fights for dominance there as elsewhere. Identity is about continuity, about repeating patterns, conscious remembering and memory, both individual and collective. The dark is the enemy of memory, of continuity, replacing it with forgetting, mass amnesia. The opposite of the dark, the adversary of the dark, is light. Some of the solution is therefore simple. Let there be light. Darkness is a dead thing, akin to death. Darkness is what is left when there's nothing else. Darkness is absence. Darkness is nothing, less than nothing. Light is alive. Light is a living thing. Kindling light in the dark is the oldest accomplishment of our species. Fire. Fire is what happens when fuel is heated to the temperature at which it must combust. Combust being a word with links to consume, which is to eat up. Only living things eat. Fire, and the light and warmth it provides, is the inevitable effect of physical laws. Fuel burns in the presence of oxygen, and the resultant fire lasts as long as the triangle of fuel, heat, and oxygen persists. You don't have to be a religious person to value light. Light is the essence of life. We live in a solar system where all life depends on the sun. Without the energy of the sun, all the suns, there would be nothing in the universe, less than nothing, only absence. The servants of the dark would even dim the sun. I used to moan and scoff at Christmas decorations going up too early in the shops, Christmas pop songs on repeat. I still have no real interest in the commercialism, and in any case, you cannot buy anything that is real about the message of Christmas. So I used to roll my eyes at early Christmas, but never again will I mock the lighting of lights, as early as possible and as many as possible. Where I live, in Scotland, in the north, the dark comes early. By late October, it's already a battle, and the weapons against it are fire and light, and the togetherness that is conjured by fire and light. People are naturally drawn out of the dark and into the light. Also, where I live, we have seen in recent years the Christmas lights going on earlier and earlier in people's homes. It used to be a bold soul who put up a tree and filled their house with lights in early December. Round where I live, the lights are already up and on, all over the place, and it's still only November. It's never too early to light a light in the dark. I used to think evil existed only in fairy stories, likewise demons. I used to think we had put all of that behind us in the modern, enlightened world. I don't think that anymore. Now I know evil is real and demons are everywhere. They're hard to spot right enough because they dress in regular clothes. When I first heard the line, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was persuading the world he didn't exist," it was in a movie. Now I know it's true. When you talk like this about such things, people say you're nuts. So be it. It started for us, this hunger for light, during the darkness of the lockdowns, the apostles of the aforementioned COVID inquiry still worship, to the extent that next time they would lock us down earlier, for longer, forever maybe. It was then when the state and lick-spittle brown-nosing celebs tried to tell us Christmas was cancelled, that Christmas was just another day, Christmas dinner just another meal, that we saw those lights going on conspicuously early for the first time in homes all around us, and we did likewise. When rather than ringing bells we were supposed to content ourselves with banging saucepans, we turned on lights, lit fires and stoves, reminded ourselves what matters, what is true. The dark's always there. The dark is all that's left when light and life and hope are gone. This year, more than ever, we will light the lights and burn the fires. Those that are telling all the lies and covering up all the truth are relentless. The Bible interests me a great deal, but I'm well aware it's the work of people down through centuries, people with agendas, editing, deleting, hiding, rewriting. For all that, there are still lines worth reading, remembering. For me, the most important message is in the prologue to John's Gospel. If I could only save a handful of lines from the whole book, it would be these. You don't have to be Christian or even religious to hear the truth of them. The life was the light of men, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So, let there be light. This is GB News Originals. Thanks for joining me. I have been and will be Neil Oliver. If you've liked this, please remember to click and subscribe, and if you haven't done so already, go to the App Store and download the GB News app.